The arsonist has oddly shaped feet. Ow now, brown cow. Alright.
No audio sounds, so I don't know what he's doing. Oh yeah, that's a good warm tone. I feel the warmth there. Nice. Right. What?
Like that fucking mark on my head though. I'm having this hat on.
That's grit.
That's grit, baby.
It's pure grit, eh?
Getting gritty with it. Alright. The arsonist has oddly shaped feet.
How now, brown cow?
Alright. Let's get into this. Hello.
This is real?
This is real now, baby.
I never know when he starts. He says 20 stupid things before we start, and then it's like, we're on. Yeah.
It's official, baby. We're on. So welcome, friends. Welcome, Commissioner.
Welcome, baby. Welcome. The Iceman.
That's correct, folks. It's because I chew ice. So welcome to episode 8 of the Big Businesses Podcast.
Here we go.
It's a good home for fantasy chirps and some football advice. But today we're going to jump right into it, but we do not have a sponsor this week.
No sponsor this week, but in light of how awesome and crazy and ridiculous our league is, we're doing something instead of our weekly sponsor.
And something unprecedented, maybe. And maybe all of fantasy
I don't know
football.
who thought of this great idea, but this is something... You know what? Before we even jump into it, though, I actually cut all that.
Mix.
So, we're also on TikTok, eh? I think
we
should talk about that.
Let's talk about our TikTok.
You know what? This is episode 8. We're not expecting, like 16,500 people to be watching our YouTube channel.
And the Chinese government.
Right.
Yeah.
But they are watching our TikTok. So we put out a random video, just a 30-second clips from these episodes. And we had one about Derrick Henry and Godzilla that connected, right? So 16,500 views, everybody.
It was really big in Japan.
Yeah. We're basically Japanese celebrities at this point. So.
Really big there too.
So
both like
we appreciate your support.
Gung Pao.
Yeah. We'll probably go for 100K on the next one. So right? We just have to think of something super offensive to say that will connect with our crowd.
We're both going to lose our jobs now.
Well, yeah, no, I'm fully getting fired for this, but totally worth it. But we need your support more than ever.
Worth it.
Worth it. All right, so back to no sponsor. What our league, what has transpired this week. So we are calling it the Aubreygate. So this is Brandon Aubrey being on bye this week.
The kicker.
Yeah.
He's on bye this week?
He is. He's not even playing this week, and all this has happened in our league, right?
That's right, because the Cowboys got trounced,
this is for you.
trounced by my Leos last week. Anyways.
So this is for you.
Oh, yes, thank you.
So I'm going to tell you what happened to one of our league mates. So he went to drop Chicago D to pick up a kicker. He obviously wanted to keep Brandon Aubrey, but by mistake, he dropped Brandon Aubrey. 3 seconds after dropping him, he messages the commissioner and asks, hey, can you put him back on my team? It was a mistake. I didn't mean to drop him. Our league, being so relentlessly ruthless, wants a punishment for him. So instead of me just, like 99% of leagues would just be putting this guy back on their team. It's so distracting. I love it though.
Playing the world's smallest violin for him.
It's a sad story for him. So he loses Brandon Aubrey. Long story short, he wants him back. The league is just take no prisoners. They're like, there's no mulligans in life. So why there be a mulligan with us, right?
When your league used to be platinum.
Right. Yeah.
She still is.
So
you go hard.
So instead,
in the paint.
Instead of just putting him back on his team, I have to think of, okay, what kind of punishment could we do for him if we give him the player back? If we don't give him the player back, then he's going to be pissed off, and it's unfair because, we let him suffer for making a classic mistake or whatever, right? So what we thought about was, why not use this for some great content, right?
Yeah.
So
I want to speed up this whole conversation. Go ahead.
It's a little too slow, eh?
Yeah.
I'm taking you guys on a journey.
It's a fucking journey.
So we've created something called.
Let's go.
We've created something called Aubreygate. So what we've done now is opened up our chat thread to everybody to make live auction bids on Brandon Aubrey.
Right now, it's happening.
If
right now
our person who dropped him wants him back so bad, then he's going to pay real money for him. So everybody is currently bidding real money for this guy.
Yeah, and now this is unprecedented.
Yep.
We believe maybe in all of football, even real football, because you can't auction off players. It's not a good look.
Not
anymore.
Exactly legal.
But that money is then going to be split between our championship and Constellation Championship. So it's going to be in the league. The money stays with the league and it goes in it. But I think it's a good piece of like, hey, you messed up. That's on you.
Yep.
You got to click twice to drop somebody. So let's have some fun with it. So right now we have a live auction.
We're not a boring league, right?
No.
So we always try to think of new, innovative, crazy things that nobody else would ever try to do, right?
If you guys have done something super cool, tell us down below. Like and subscribe, smash that like. Whatever. And also, tell us what you do.
Yeah. What would you do? Would you just put him back on the team
No,
and
it's
then boom,
boring.
it's done and over with on a Tuesday? Or would you let it fester all week? We've had hundreds of messages over this, right?
Yeah.
And for those of you who are just kind of like, what the hell are you guys talking about? It's just a kicker. It's just Brandon Aubrey, a kicker on bye week. If you take a look at this man's numbers, it's insane how many points this guy. He has 89 points on the year in fantasy, which in our league.
I'm casting my own votes.
You just put a bid in yourself?
Yeah,
you sneaky devil.
I just doubled it, baby.
So that's awesome. So this is gonna be great. So we gave him half an hour. So as we're doing this podcast, we're gonna be getting bids throughout the whole thing, and then we'll announce who ends up getting them. The money, by the way, is gonna go to the league winner.
We said that.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's just get into the fun. Aubreygate is going to listen.
So Aubreygate,
if you see a phone in the background, that's simply because we're putting bids in. There we go.
Yeah, and this guy's points are higher than most of the running backs and wide receivers so far in fantasy. So if you're like, why are you guys arguing over a kicker? We're arguing over a kicker because he's got 89 points on the year.
And it's fun.
And it's really fun.
Yeah. It's the only person on Dallas you want to roster at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe Lamb. Maybe. But Aubrey scores more points than Lamb. So
yeah, Lamb right now is like a wide receiver 3 in standard format with 3 deep wide. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well.
He just has. He's had a couple of... Like, he's... No question, one of the best wide receivers. There's no question. Whatever the hell is happening in Dallas is an absolute train wreck. Mm-hmm. So, who do you really play on Dallas fantasy purpose-wise? Well, you have to play CD. You have to. There's no question. It's just unfortunate the dividends aren't fully there.
For sure. Yeah, he's not giving you where you drafted him capital. But
if you have a lock for anybody, it's like a Justin Tucker, even though he hasn't played as well as he usually does, you lock in a Brandon Aubrey.
So I have Tucker, so I think I'm gonna be just viewing today.
Yeah, I don't.
But you never know.
So I'm trying to get this.
So as of right now, we're up to $25 real for a kicker.
Yeah.
That's how crazy competitive.
Let's get it to 1,000.
So yeah, right. Let's get it to 16,000 like our TikTok. So
all right, let's go over. Now we'll get into the regular stuff. Let's go over week 6 of the league. Get a little touch on there. Started off, Commish.
So week 6 was beautiful for me. I don't know how you did, but
not so well.
Not so well.
No.
I beat Snorlax. So if anybody's been following previous episodes, we actually have a bounty out on Snorlax.
We do.
So anybody who takes him out of the playoffs, assuming he even makes the playoffs at this point,
If he doesn't have his kicker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's his kicker too. So if we beat Snorlax in the playoffs, the winner gets the bounty that we put on him. So that's $75 real that are added to our pot. We've got a few side bets going this year in our league, which is, just extra spice to it, right? So it's good.
I want to play something from. I got a video or audio message.
Uh-oh.
$25.02.
25.02 is now the bid. So
yeah. Anyways, I thought it was gonna be a lot more. That was pretty
that
anticlimactic
was
right there.
Right.
Sorry about that, everyone. Let's get back into it. So week 6. So you took down Snorri.
And I beat him. I beat him pretty handily. He had some injuries, but I don't care. I put my foot on the gas and I made it rain.
A winner's a winner. It doesn't matter.
Yep. So matter. So I won. He lost. Everything. I mean, other things happened, but to me that was the highlight of the week.
Yeah, I unfortunately lost cheaper by the dozen, and the league is pretty well sorted. Like,
I haven't seen this much parity in a long time. Actually.
Yeah, and like outside of like first place, King Henry's Legion, who's been great, and
copy paste we call him.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I was first in our division, which was great, and then 1 week later, I'm last in our division. That's just how tight the league is.
Yeah.
one win basically drops you from 4th to 10th.
So
and there's 12 teams, but
there are 8 teams currently at 3-3. So it's going to be
it's a tight year.
Yeah, if this continues, it's the top 6 playoff spots. Anybody has a chance to make the playoffs, right?
Just loving it, folks. Just loving it. We're at freaking week 7 in the league, and it's been a good year.
It's been very good.
It's been a good year because it's been so unpredictable.
Yeah.
This is like a waiver wire year. 100%.
So most of any. I mean, even last year when people were talking about the wire, it was Kyron Williams after week 1. Somebody picked him up, and it was great, right? But aside from him, there wasn't a lot of guys that hit the wire that were like game breakers or team difference makers. This year, it just feels like every week there's relevant guys.
Single week.
Yeah. So like you've got your Tracy's and you've got all these guys that are just coming out of nowhere.
Pumping out numbers.
Yep.
You're seeing guys that are third in the depth chart at running back getting like RB1 numbers.
Who the fuck is Sean Tucker?
I thought he was a rapist.
Yeah.
Professional rapper.
Oh, that's what I thought you said.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, Sean Tucker. Like, I mean, just guys out of the woodwork, right? And it's...
Didn't you do that movie with Jackie Chan?
No, that's Chris. I think they must be related.
Same last name.
Yeah.
So brothers, probably. Aside from that, we got more action stuff coming in. So no sponsor. We're going through that. We're going through the Aubreygate. Let's get into the news, baby, because there's a lot of news that happened.
A lot of shit happened in the last couple of days.
Casey's been living under a rock. Take it away for the first one.
Okay, so the first one is the Davante Adams. I don't feel good. I got traded. I feel great.
He feels super good.
Right? Yeah.
He feels super good. He doesn't have an Aiden Minshew throwing into the football.
Yeah, Aiden Minshew, exactly.
He doesn't have to look at the face of the owner of...
He basically, like, if he was, like... in the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't even grant it a better scenario for him, right?
Yeah.
So, he rejoins his buddy in New York.
His long-lost brother.
So, I don't know. So, how do you feel about the fantasy impacts of what it does to the Jets team?
Super big. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers has been playing overly bad, to be honest.
Right.
There's been... He
is their O-line. Like... Quite frankly, though, O-line's garbage.
But, yeah, because they haven't gotten the running starting to get going, and if it keeps getting better, then that'll help a lot.
Right.
But you see an abnormally large amount of drops with him. Mm-hmm. And is just miscommunications with his boys, and you can't. That's something that you can't build up in a couple of weeks.
Right.
You know, and he doesn't have Mike Williams is a good wide receiver.
Mike Williams doesn't even play for the Jets anymore, I don't think.
No.
So, like, give it another week,
how wild is
gone.
That?
Yeah.
Like, he's not bad.
No, he's not bad at all. He's not bad at all.
No.
And it's just like the actual time needed to build chemistry on this team just wasn't there. Right?
Yeah, like if you were a GM of a team and someone said, "Hey, I have Mike Williams or Alan Lazard, who do you want?"
I want Mike Williams.
I want Mike Williams.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers doesn't want Mike Williams.
But he plays because he has that connection with Lazard. Lazard is on the same page. Mm-hmm. So he seems like he puts up bigger numbers. He's more important in the game. But on paper, like physical attributes and everything, I'd take a Mike Williams.
Yeah.
But it's just not there. So I think that having Davante back honestly makes Garrett Wilson more open.
Oh, so you do, eh? You do think that. So
yeah.
I'll let you say your piece, and then I've kind of got some thoughts.
I don't believe Garrett Wilson's a true number one in a team. I think he's like a Devontae Smith to an AJ Brown. Mm-hmm. Whereas he can be a number one on any given day, but if he's always covered like a number one, you know, he'll have his days, but he doesn't have the same consistency as like a true number one.
Yeah.
So I think having Devontae there, who is going to garner the top backs, like, and at times will take a double, you know, and that's going to open up. I think it's going to open up Garrett quite a bit.
It's interesting. So I actually think Garrett Wilson, for fantasy purposes, takes a massive hit, though. I think he's led the league in targets the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I mean, with that said, Rodgers is just overthrowing. They're not balancing out the offense because the line's been so crap.
That's it.
I truly don't think the Davante Adams thing fixes anything. I think that they have some like fundamental problems in New York right now.
They do. I think a lot of it is the O-line, like you said.
Yeah. So I mean, bringing in Adams, is that gonna block better for him? No. So I mean, he's gonna do a lot of those quick dump off 3-yard screen passes to Adams that he could break for yardage. It'll open up the playbook a little bit.
Yes, it will.
I do think it affects Breece Hall. I don't like it for Breece.
I don't like it for Breece.
Yeah. So as a Breece Hall owner, I don't love it. So it's another guy who's gonna get red zone targets. It's another guy who's gonna get short yardage things instead of just overrunning the ball. And yeah, I don't really like it for Garrett Wilson. So I think it kind of levels out a lot of the stuff that you were looking to get out of the Jets. And then on is that Brad Pitt, Jeff? Nice. Okay, here we go. So, I think in general, this team is in trouble. And I think they're just desperation move after desperation. When you fire a coach, Mike Williams runs the wrong route at the end of the game. Rodgers just looks like he had that Donald Trump, like, you're fired face, eh? Like, this isn't The Apprentice. Like, it's a football team, dude. He's on the ground like, come on, ball, get to me.
It was a bit.
This is like
why is
very dramatic.
Why is brother flashing centuries like that?
Show the cam.
Yeah, we got one guy who's talking about.
That's some doolars.
Yeah.
Danny doolars.
That's a whole fistful of hundos.
Yeah. Interesting.
For a kicker.
Yeah.
Which, no, he's probably buying something else with that.
Yeah.
Brother.
We have a joint account, so I'm a little concerned. Does that mean I get like the right leg and he gets the left leg?
Yeah, you get half. Let's get on to the next piece of news, though.
So the other trade that happened this week, Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper to Buffalo.
Which, to me, is way more impactful than Devontae Adams. So I think, this came like hours after the Devontae Adams news came out, so it was totally a knee-jerk reaction. They say, well, you got a receiver, we're getting a receiver too. So that
team needs help offensively.
Yep.
If not, you're going to absolutely decimate your quarterback there. He's putting too much on his shoulders, doesn't have that true number one. You can't be relying on a Khalil Shakir on a regular basis.
No, exactly.
Granted, he's done pretty well, but he's still not that guy. Keon Coleman clearly hasn't come up as fast as I was hoping he was going to, because I think he physically could be a menace.
Yep.
But he's just
I
not
think
there
that's
yet.
what's been highlighted is that Keon Coleman couldn't just jump right into the digs.
No.
Right?
No.
Couldn't
dig it.
He couldn't dig it. I think he's good though. I do think he's good.
Keon's super good.
But I don't think he was good in what they had set up. So what started happening?
I don't think he likes Buffalo. I have nothing.
He'll like it now. Playing next to Amari Cooper, everyone's gonna like Buffalo.
Nothing to substantiate that comment, but I think he hates Buffalo and he wants out. And he wants.
If I know Keon Coleman the way I think I know Keon Coleman, so this is gonna free him up though. He's not gonna have to play the X spot, right? So now he's and it kind of reminds me. This is like just totally out there. He kind of reminds me of Drake London. So when Drake London was like all the shoulders, like all the weight was on his shoulders.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, and they just had quarterback after quarterback.
But they had
wasn't
Desmond Ridder throwing a football.
Yeah, but like they just. You knew he was good, but he just wasn't highlighted. So I think that Keon Coleman can be really good, just not as the one. Now that he's freed up, he's gonna be able. He's gonna be able to do like the Gabe Davis role, and like that offense is gonna start looking how it looked last year, right?
It makes the Bills a lot tougher.
Absolutely.
I do not like the way the Bills look now.
And like a guy who, like, if you're in a fantasy league, not ours, don't do this. Don't listen to me. But in other leagues, go after Dalton Kincaid. Because I'm telling you, this is going to open up so much stuff for Dalton Kincaid. He's been getting all the number one coverage coming down and taking him, and he's been double and triple teamed at times. Now they can't do that. They're going to have to play Cooper honest. It's going to open up stuff for everybody. So I like it for the entire team, but I really think Dalton Kincaid's going to be really good going forward.
If you're a Josh Allen owner, this is just benefiting you in every single way possible. And if you're an Amari Cooper person who has him as WR2, he's going to jump up.
Yep.
Did the Chiefs grab a receiver?
So everybody else is grabbing a receiver. Everybody was just kind of waiting. Is the Chiefs going to make a move? So
I think.
Do they need to?
I don't think they need to.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to. I think.
So you're okay with a Juju Smith-Schuster for the rest of the year?
I genuinely think that this team is fugazi, and I think. I think unless they get something for the cheap, they're not going to do it. Because I don't think that they believe this. They have so many injuries.
They're decimated with injuries. So
their defense is young and very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only reason why they're winning football games right now.
A lot of messages.
It's the only reason why they're winning football games. Do they grab a receiver? They're not going to get after a marquee guy.
Right.
I
could see Christian Kirk. I know that he's been the rumored guy.
Yeah.
I could see them pulling something off for that because they're not going to break the bank for him, right?
Oh yeah. Who else is a super disgruntled guy?
Oh, who I'd want to see kind of at the tail end of his career actually play for a good team? DeAndre Hopkins. So that's a
Nuke's
guy.
on the table.
I could see Nuke going there, and that's a completely different scenario because I think he'd be fantastic.
Oh, who's it in Tennessee super disgruntled right now? What's his name?
What, Ridley? No.
Yeah.
Or no, Ridley's not even there.
No, not Ridley. Anyways.
Yeah.
There's a couple disgruntled.
All of them. I don't know.
There's a couple disgruntled.
Who wouldn't be disgruntled? Yeah. Who wouldn't be disgruntled? I'm disgruntled, and I'm not even a Titans fan, so.
Yeah, honestly, when I see him on a schedule, I go, this is going to be a really boring game. It's just going to be like, anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
So if they grab a receiver, I'm going to say maybe.
So
fantasy impact?
Well, if it's a nuke, I think absolutely fantasy impact. If not, I didn't mind what I saw out of Juju. I don't know if he's gonna be.
No,
I don't know. That's nothing you can bank on consistently every week. He might be a guy you plug in during your bye weeks.
He just morphs into Kadarius Toney's hands every once in a while. So yeah, good luck, Chiefs. Obviously they've been still winning games. No, we're not even talking about the refs right now.
Winning all games. So yeah.
Winning games by the penalty flags at the last play of the game. No public. Anyways. Digress. I don't think they are championship contenders this year.
Right.
I just don't. And go ahead, shit on me. I don't care.
They'll be in the championship game. They're playing a style that they're winning. They don't look attractive. They'll be there.
Andy Reid is the only reason why that team's any good. And Pat Mahomes has nobody to throw to. It is what it is. Well, and they have no running game. So they have no running game. They have nobody to throw to. Pat Mahomes can't do it by himself, but their defense is great. Sure, go grab a receiver. I don't care.
I have a few opposite takes on that, but they'll be there. I like Kelsey. Yeah, we don't have enough time for my opinion.
You know my feelings. If you like this podcast, you know.
I don't love them. I don't love them, but they'll be where they need to be at the end of the year, and we'll see what they do with it. But
yeah.
So your Leos, eh?
Ask me the question.
Do you need a replacement for Hutchinson? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Starsky and Hutch got kind of banged up last week.
Unless you've been living under a very large rock.
Yeah.
Bigger than what I spoke about earlier, you would have noticed a tibia fibula shattering. Well, not shattering, clean break. So that's nice to see. Do we need somebody to take over the league high pressures, the league high sacks, and pretty much the best defensive player in the league right now? Yeah. Mm-hmm. A few things about this. I will say our secondary is coming together.
Yep. I actually think the whole team across the board.
The defense is strong.
They were at their pinnacle against Dallas. It's the Canadian Thanksgiving game, right? That's what I call it. So they were just killing them.
In every way, shape, and form.
Highlight plays. Offense looked amazing. They're doing flea flickers. They're doing everything clicking on all cylinders, and then that happened. So it was devastating to see it.
And do I think they make a move? They get somebody.
I think so too. Yeah.
Now, do I think it's going to be one of those top tier people? The only people that are going after top tier at all is probably going to be Max Crosby, who everybody was initially, it was not moving, not going anywhere. I got tattoos.
Right.
And today he goes, I'll be happy playing anywhere.
Tattoos, yeah.
So, leave that to yourselves. It's not even really almost his choice, even though I know he'd love to come back and play for Detroit.
I think that'd be great if they
Myles
did it,
Garrett.
but I don't think they need to do it. Myles Garrett's another one. It depends on if they want to pay somebody long term, right?
Yes, and they have cap space.
Yep.
They have draft capital.
When I saw that, I didn't realize how much cap they had. So.
And they got a lot of people locked in.
Yeah.
Right. This is a team that really wants to play together, and I think a lot of people would want to play in Detroit right now. They have a really good window open.
Absolutely.
And Hutch, when he comes back next year, or as he flirted, which I don't think he's going to, at the end of this year, he won't. That's going to be a devastating looking defense. So do I think they go after somebody? Yes. Do I think their defense, fantasy-wise and life-wise, is going to be excellent? Yeah, I do.
So the guy that they've talked about it a little bit was Hassan Reddick for the Jets. I like it. That's who I actually would hope that they would get if they make a move, because he's a guy who could kind of fit the scheme long-term. So if they pay him and brought him in, then I can see it actually panning out and him being a part of the defense for a few years.
But, okay. Again, I don't know who this.
He's not a head case. I know you're going with it. I don't think he's a head case. I think he wants a loyal team to play for. I think once somebody pays him, he's going to be super loyal. If he's on a winning team, it's going to fix the attitude problems or anything that exists. So that would be my call.
This team is built specifically on interpersonal character. Like, it's really about, like, when you play for the Lions, they set it up like a special forces team. So in the special forces, you're only as good as the person next to you. Right, and a lot of times when they build their teams, they don't always go, who's the best at doing everything. It's who's the person I mesh with the best. And that creates, those kind of bonds create really strong teams. And I think this is all culture based for Dan Campbell. They need to find a guy that fits that culture.
Right.
Because if they don't, it's not going to work. As a matter of fact, it could be super detrimental to that defense if you get a head case in there. I don't know if he has a head case.
I don't think he is. But I think he's causing a ton of problems right now. I think Philly didn't need him when they traded him to the Jets.
Didn't need him. He had what 14 and then 16 sacks.
Yeah,
and then they just got.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're feeling it now, but I think at the time they thought they were good.
Who just gets rid of a guy like that?
A team that pays $250 million for their quarterback, which is just ruining franchises altogether. But Jalen Hurts' money is just the reason why Reddick's not still an Eagle.
That's it.
What the Jets have done with him, I can't even begin to understand why they wouldn't have just paid him. If you're acquiring him, why wouldn't you pay the guy on his last year? Bring him in, keep him there for a while. He could be a.
Why would his agent not negotiate that before the transaction?
Yeah. Bad agent, right?
Bad agent,
that's
man.
what it comes down to. So
Bad agent.
But yeah, that's who I'd like to see the Lions grab. I hear what you're saying, but yeah,
We're up to $55.
$55 in real money on a kicker, people.
We're about to be up to 65.
Amazing. 65.
Right. 65.
All right, what's our next topic?
Justin Fields just lost his starting job, QB6 in the league, to Russell Wilson. And damn,
I absolutely
if someone didn't already know that was coming, who called that weeks and weeks ago?
This will be the face that you put on our screenshot of the episode. Yeah, terrible. This is
called
just,
it. Called it.
You called it, but I still don't even agree with it. I'm just like, I'm gonna be that bitter, disgruntled.
Do you know
guy
who
in
it's
this.
good for? George Pickens.
I will agree with that. I will absolutely
And
agree
Pat
with
Fryer
that.
move.
You know who it's bad for?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
I know.
You're
but
4-2. You should be 5-1 because of the game that they lost with Dallas. Dallas scored with 10 seconds left, so arguably they could be 5-1. This guy has had 1 turnover. Justin Fields has 10 touchdowns, 1 turnover, and he's the number 6 quarterback in fantasy.
Wild.
And now I have to eat my words as if I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. And so Tomlin's wrong. The Pittsburgh Steelers are wrong. I can't.
People.
I couldn't believe that
what's
this
about
happened.
to happen.
Look, I'm talking like the Godfather. I couldn't believe this happened, eh?
When we come back from this break, we will discuss more. All right, and we are back.
Yeah. So, anyways, in the 2 minutes that we were down,
It was a big 2 minutes.
it was a big 2 minutes. So our Aubreygate is closing, but I'm not going to announce it till the end of the show. There's controversy. Guys are fighting.
Genuine controversy. I didn't even get a chance to bid.
Wow, the final bid is like over $100 though, of real money really that we're talking. So maybe we should do this all the time because that's freaking hilarious. Hilarious.
I gotta. Keep going.
You want me to keep going?
Keep that.
Anyways, I'll finish my thoughts on Fields. Yeah, it's a bump to certain guys in fantasy to have Russell Wilson in there. But what Fields was doing for the Steelers, that was the most important thing that he was doing, was he wasn't turning the ball over. They were narrating these games. It wasn't pretty at times, but they were winning. They were controlling the clock. They were doing what they needed to do. He made a lot of plays with his feet that Russ won't be able to make. So, okay, I don't know. I'm so devastated that Fields is not playing just because I was so high on Fields and
he was starting to get used to that.
Staked my claim on it for so long, right?
He started to play well, but I knew they would do this shit.
That's crazy. It's dumb. It's crazy. And
I think it's in his contract.
Yeah, well, it is. They have to, if he plays a certain amount of snaps, his thing goes up to a 4th round pick or something like that. Which who cares at this point, right? But whatever. So.
Do you know who loves those? Everybody else in that division.
Yeah,
that's not
absolutely,
the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Absolutely. So
Fields.
I don't know how loyal.
I'd rather
and how
play
long
a Russell
play.
Wilson than a fucking Justin Fields.
So I don't know how long they'll roll with Russ, but I'll tell you right now, as soon as they have a game where they lose and he's got 2 interceptions or like 2 turnovers or whatever the hell he ends up doing, he's not going to take care of the ball the way Fields has for the first 6 weeks. So.
Which is also surprising because I digress.
Yeah.
Let's go on the next. We have the return of Chubb.
So the return of Nick Chubb, I can't wait to see it.
I'm excited.
I don't think he'll be the Chubb of old. I want him to be the Chubb of old, but
he'd be the first person coming back off of that kind of injury. That'd be the person that he was before.
And I will say, if anybody does, it's him. He is such a beast, just a beast of a man. So it comes at the perfect time because that team is just in the biggest shambles, and even Ford is now out. I think he had a hamstring thing.
Yeah.
So they don't even have a running back. So he's coming in at the absolute perfect time.
They probably should have kept Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, in retrospect. Kareem Hunt, the workhorse, not in a 3-headed back committee running back for the Kansas City Chiefs.
You were wrong about Pittsburgh. I was wrong about that.
All right, we'll accept it. So, moving on to some game tape for this week.
3 different games that we like.
Yeah.
I'll start with Houston Green Bay. What a good-looking game, and I really hope C.J. Stroud and his team come out and trounce him, but I just don't think they will. I think Green Bay defense is pretty short up right now.
They've been clicking, man.
Missing Nico Collins is a big loss. Joe Mixon is back, but to what degree? And
he's back.
You know, you got
Stephon
Diggs, you got obviously you got Tank Dell, who's a little bit banged up but you know, they're still a really good team. It's gonna be a great game to watch. As far as a fan of the sport, great game to watch. Fantasy purposes, you know, Jordan Love has been going absolutely off, and he's silently like an MVP contender, I think.
He's been fantastic. If he didn't get hurt, I think they would have been steamrolling even more.
Yeah.
With that said, I'm actually taking the Texans. So I think Houston's going into Green Bay.
I want Green Bay to lose, but I just think they're going to.
I think it's going to be a great game. There's not a single guy I wouldn't start in a fantasy matchup. So I think it's going to be high scoring, green lighting everybody across the board. So.
You do the next. KC San Fran.
KC San Fran. The Niners are in a lot more trouble than people think. I know they won last week, but
I always thought they were in trouble.
Even Jordan Mason, I think, is out too. So on top of all the injuries, yeah, we know. But they don't have CMC back yet, right? So there's a lot of issues.
Not till December. There. Heard it here first, folks.
I don't know what we see out of Isaac Garendo if he ends up being the workhorse back, but it's bad timing for San Fran to be playing the Chiefs. So I think the Chiefs are coming into another great situation where they're probably going to win this game. So I know it's in San Fran, but I like.
It doesn't matter. Playing in Candlestick doesn't really like.
Yep.
It's not really what it used to be.
You know who the MVP of San Fran has been this year so far?
Brock Purdy.
No, George Kittle.
Oh yeah.
Who
throws in footballs?
Brock Purdy. Nice, well done.
Brock Purdy.
So Kittle's been fantastic, man. He missed the game, but other than that, he's had a touchdown every single game.
I was gonna say Juwan Jennings.
Juwan Jennings with his 41 and then just out. He's like, you know what? Fuck fantasy. I'm out of here for the year. But in terms of green light, like I don't love a lot of the matchups. So even Hunt coming off a huge game, you gotta roll with him again. But I don't think he's gonna get 30 carries for a touchdown and all that. He'll get the goal line touchdowns when they come up, but he'll have a regular running back 2 week. Juju, I don't love this week. Worthy might get like a big play, but like there's nobody in Kansas City that I'm like, ooh, I got to play that guy this week, right? I don't know. There's nobody excites me for the matchup.
Offensively on fantasy, I'm not touching it.
But even in real life, I still think they just find a way.
And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even be starting Mahomes right now if you have a decent backup. He hasn't produced anything.
Well, you see that in a ton of leagues actually. So all the Mahomes owners have picked up guys like Baker Mayfield like over the first couple of weeks, and now it's crazy because you have to play Baker over Mahomes. In what world did you ever think you were gonna say that? But Mahomes is.
He doesn't have a lot to do right now.
If you tag those stats onto any other quarterback's name in the league, you're not even rostering that quarterback, right? So it's pure name value at this point. People are either just going to ride the train and hope that Mahomes has a big game.
Is he a buy low candidate?
He's absolutely a buy low candidate because even last week he threw for over 300 yards. Like it's there, but they're just not doing it, right? So
he's still Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, absolutely. So,
I do think San Fran takes this, by the way.
You do. I think we're like opposite on.
Yeah, I think San Fran takes this. I think their defense is good enough to no problem stop their offense.
Yep.
And I think their offense is just good enough to get enough points to win.
Yep.
Just because the KCD is solid, and the offense is the strength for San Francisco at the moment.
Yep.
But I think it's probably a 3-point swing. It's definitely a tight one. It's going to be coming down to the last drive. Maybe one of those pesky flags comes out and saves somebody's day.
Probably.
But, I think it's going to be a pretty mediocre game.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be
entertainment value-wise, I'm not looking forward to it.
Yep. And the last game, I can't wait to see this, actually.
Well, now especially. Jets Steelers. I think Jets steamroll the Steelers.
Oh, so do I. So we agree on that one.
I think they do, and I just think...
Because Russell Wilson sucks, but yeah.
I think it's going to be like a steamroll, like 13-0. Like that kind of steamroll.
You just can't come if you're one of those offenses. You just can't come back from a 10-point deficit.
You start Jets D all day long.
Yeah. I'd fire up both defenses.
I would too, because you don't know what's coming with Devontae Adams.
Yep.
There's some miscommunication.
I do think Rodgers and Adams it's going to be like there's no catch up. I think he's coming right in. And they're
going to be like, hey, remember that play we've done 15,000 times? Just do that.
I don't think there's any difference.
Whatever they call it over the radio, I'm not going to do it. Just do that play that we always do.
I think it'll be a great game in terms of just the intrigue behind it, but I think the game itself won't be anything special. The Jets will win, is my call. And I think that they're going to think, oh, and now we're 3-4 and we're steamrolling and here we go. And like all their problems are solved.
Yeah.
And then I think they're going to struggle the rest of the season. I don't think that the Jets have answered any of the problems, the fundamental problems that they've had, right?
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Steelers at home though, you never know, but I think it's going to be sloppy with Russ.
If the Steelers win with Russ,
Fields is playing, this is a
super
completely
surprised.
different preview, but yeah.
Yeah, if the Steelers win, I'll be genuinely surprised.
Yep.
Good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's pour through these, then some buy and sells, and then we had a long one today.
Yeah, this is
a fucking auction.
Well, let's do buy and sell next week. Save something for everybody.
We'll
We gotta talk about the 107 messages that I have to check on this thing.
Okay, so good, bad, and the ugly. Start with the good. NFC North: Lions, Bears, Pack, and Vikings. The best division in football.
The best division I can remember in a very long time. So
ever. In the big game this week, I don't know why we didn't put it in this top three. Probably because you made the top three.
Lions, Vikings. I just don't want to talk about the Lions every week. You always find a way to talk about the Lions.
Well, they're the hottest
team
team in the league. You got to chat about them. That for me is one of the games of the year so far, probably.
Yeah.
At least impact-wise for the rest of the season.
Guess we're talking about it, so...
Not going to do it. So
I like the Lions
Bears,
this week,
Pack.
too, but yeah.
It's going to be a tough game.
So Minnesota's going to lose their first game of the season, but...
Yes, they will. And the reason why, Aaron Jones isn't there yet fully. Mm-hmm. If he plays this
I don't
week,
even know if he's going to play. They're saying he is, but I don't think he will.
That's what I'm saying. Is if he plays this week, he's not him regularly.
Right.
And Sam Darnold built a running game. You see what happens to him. Look at the last game.
Yep.
Just a debacle. They won only because of the defense against a team that had a subpar offense. Lions, I hope, come in here. They have some work to do in the defense. I think their defense still shores up Sam Darnold, especially if there's no Aaron Jones.
Yep.
And I think it's a 7 to 10 point win for Detroit.
Right. Yeah, I'm down with all that. So
yeah. So best stack in football.
Hold on. So in terms of the NFC North, those 4 teams, this could be the first time in the history of the NFL that 4 teams from the same division make the playoffs. So the 3 wild card
the merger.
So the 3 wild card spots and 7 teams make it. Could go to the 3 teams that are there. The Bears are rolling. They look good. They're getting better every week. Caleb's getting comfortable.
Their defense.
Keenan Allen came in and had 2 touchdowns. Komet's getting touchdowns. Their defense is lights out. Minnesota's undefeated. Green Bay's got love back. They're winning. And the Lions are, to me, the best team in the NFC right now. So, like, it's... Yeah. Oh, they're the best team in the NFC right now. Yeah.
An actual, honest, objective opinion.
Look how happy he's... Yeah. It's all about grit, baby.
Come a long way, friends.
So, yeah, no, I think ultimately these guys playing each other is going to eliminate somebody from the mix. But, yeah, this division is for real. And I don't think any of the 4 teams are actually going to slow down this season. So.
Yeah. And much love to Aiden Hutchinson. Hopefully he gets well.
If you're watching, we hope you get well. So
yeah, exactly.
He's probably
let's talk about the best stack in football. Right
now. Which is just no one would have guessed this. No one would have ever predicted this. But
it pisses me off because I draft this guy every year almost.
Yeah, you do. And
I didn't do it
this year, but
and now he finally
looks like a completely different person. Right?
He looks like the person who I thought he was going to be for years.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield and my boy Chris Godwin.
Yep. And nobody would have called this. I don't think it stops. Baker looks different. He looks comfortable. He's throwing. That offense rolls. Mike Evans is always going to draw attention, and Godwin has looked spectacular.
He has looked just lights out.
So best stack for a wide receiver quarterback in football.
2 must-start guys at this point. 2 must-start guys.
Absolutely. You fire them up every week.
The offense for the Bucs have been fantastic. You know, with the exception of the running back room, who you don't really know to start.
Right.
I'm starting Kate Otten. Mm-hmm. I'm starting Evans. I'm starting Godwin.
Yeah.
Starting Mayfield.
Maybe not Kate Otten. I don't know. I think he had a touchdown last week, though, so you never know.
If you watch him in games, he's picking up more. He's a big piece of the offense now. He's getting like 6 to 8 targets.
And again, the tight end position, I don't hate it. Like, I can't even argue with it because
there's not been a lot of great tight ends.
Every tight end is just a dart throw, right? So
well, that's what I mean. He's one of the ones who I like would be at least if I had to have somebody in there, I'd be like, Kate Otten's not a bad choice at all.
Yeah.
Of course, I have to have somebody in there.
And they drafted a rookie too, Macmillan, who's actually pretty good, man. So even long term, like that offense, they're doing the right things. They're in the right direction. So, So how about the bad?
Let's go to the bad. Josh Jacobs, 1 touchdown this season.
1 touchdown this season.
Yeah.
And Love, even at the beginning of the season's like, he's never had a receiving touchdown in his career. So Love was like, I want to get him a receiving touchdown this year. I want him to get his first ever receiving touchdown with me as his quarterback.
That's a wild thing for Josh Jacobs. Never had
touchdown. Isn't that nuts? It still hasn't happened though. With that said, so he's only had 1 rushing touchdown and like he gets ton of usage, ton of carries.
He's getting a lot of touches.
But yeah, the numbers for fantasy aren't anything special. From even where you drafted him, you thought he was going to get his,
You'd be looking at what you thought was an RB1 the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's putting up RB2.
Yeah, RB2, even almost like in that flex range. Like that's how regressed it is.
It's a subpar.
And Love just throws too much. He's the number one quarterback for throwing in the red zone too. So it's there's a lot to be concerned of if you're a Jacobs owner. So
that's why I traded him.
Yeah, a good trade.
Yeah, but you gave me ATN. So
who'd you trade? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Who'd you trade him for? So.
We both got garbage.
Yeah.
Although your garbage is better.
My garbage is shinier than your garbage.
Yeah, my garbage is just now genuinely garbage.
Yeah. So who's the next?
Arizona Cardinals 2-4 and reeling.
Yeah, I agree. They are reeling. So Harrison, your boy Marvin, don't you have Harrison and Connor on your team, right?
Yeah.
So that's not pretty.
No, it's not.
So Harrison being hurt too is a huge sting to them.
Massive. Yeah, it's massive.
Connor's coming off a bad game.
And Harrison might be coming back this week, but probably not.
I think he's going to be out.
Yeah.
But it depends. I think they play Monday night, so he's got an extra day
That's
to
the problem.
recover, so you don't know. But
And
plan accordingly, my friend. But
Connor's getting tons of touches, but it's just again game script, offensive line.
But they got bombed. They went to Green Bay last week. They got bombed, and it didn't look good. So the game script didn't support Connor, but
not at all.
Trey Benson started getting carries in that game, and then honestly, the way that he runs, the way that he looks, he actually looks exactly like Connor. So they drafted his clone.
Yeah,
so
they did.
yeah. So eventually, if they continue to lose, they're 2-4. If they continue to lose, you never know. They might start using Benson more. They might start, not using their starters as much, right? It might be a lost season. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. So,
stop making me want to trade my players, damn it.
That's what the whole segment was to make him feel like shit about his own guys. So
all right, let's get to the
mission accomplished. All right, the ugly. It doesn't get much uglier than my boy,
Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
and how about
Prescott and those Cowboys, and getting steamrolled by them Detroit Lions, right? Yeah.
This is why you don't talk about your players' Johnson sizes, because then it just gets everybody off football. They stop playing. They look so terrible, and I feel bad for Cowboys fans, genuinely.
They look so bad. They look so lost. And all the things that... All the things that aren't working are all the things that the fans have been screaming for all offseason. The run game. Where is your running back?
Derrick Henry's too expensive.
Where's your wide receiver 2? Where's all these moves that they should have made, and they didn't spend any money, and they're, we like our guys. We're good with our guys.
It's wild.
All these guys have come available that they could have traded for, that they could have grabbed, and
didn't go for one wide receiver.
Kept saying they're content. They're content. We like our guys. We like where we're going. And
they had a chance for Henry and said it was too much. They gave Dak 260.
Why didn't they even keep Pollard? Look at what Tony Pollard is doing in Tennessee right now.
I'm with you.
Right? The Titans are garbage, but Pollard's numbers have been spectacular so far.
He's competent.
I know he didn't have a lot of touchdowns last year, but look what he's doing. He'd be better than Uncle Rico right now.
The best way to get CD into the game is get a better running game.
Yeah.
They have this zero.
It looks like it's crumbling quick. To their benefit, after the bye, they do have some easy matchups, so they'll probably win and lose here and there, but they don't look pretty. They don't look like a contender. They don't look like So
I will say football in a whole is better when they're at least competitive.
Yeah.
You like to have people competitive, especially like the most famous team in the league.
Yeah.
And right now,
in fantasy, if you were like 1-5, and your favorite team were the Cowboys,
I would just sell my whole.
Would you just stop watching football until next year?
I would just give my best players to somebody who is maybe 3-3.
Hey, you're in real estate.
Yes, I am.
A Juliet balcony, right?
Yeah.
Those are those little balconies outside of your bedroom window, right?
Yeah.
Draft Wizards has 2 of them at his house, right?
He does.
And he's 1-5.
Yeah.
Should we be concerned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not too high off the ground.
I'm gonna call him after
They're
this.
not too high off the ground.
Yeah. Okay. So, he can survive the fall, eh?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Yeah.
He's landing on grass too.
Okay. Yeah. He might be okay.
He's fine. He's fine. Now another team that's just
so ugly. It's even hard to talk about because there's so little to talk about with
the Saints, baby.
Yeah. So
they do not go marching in. The Saints go into the garbage pile at the moment.
Yep.
Started off winning the first 2 games. Derek Carr looked pretty good. The offense looked like it was fantastic.
The defense even looked amazing.
Decimated by injuries.
Yep.
Front and back of the ball, offense and defense.
All of a sudden, the Saints blowing out Dallas and going to 2-0, and we're like, "Whoa, the Saints are legit."
So good.
All of a sudden, that Dallas win doesn't seem so special because Dallas is actually
they're a JV team.
Yeah. So yeah, losing 5 straight, right? And all the injuries stacked up. So Olave, Rashid Shaheed, like,
She's up for the year too now.
Yeah, it's an
and they just lost their number 2. It was a safety or their cornerback.
Yeah, he's gone too. Yeah, I
snapped his leg.
Yep.
I think it was. So it's just not looking good. You know, they're
and it drastically affects Kamara too, because now there's no offense. That's and Derek Carr's hurt too. If that wasn't enough, right?
Yeah,
so it's crazy.
It's unfortunate. So unless you're PPR, where he's gonna get a bunch of short slants because they're trying to get him involved any way they can, it's no go zone for almost everybody there.
It's ugly.
So you got to start Kamara anyways, but you're just not gonna get. I don't think you get the same fantasy numbers you got earlier in the year.
So
that is most of it. Let's get over to the auction before we burn out this damn camera.
Yeah. So
make it do it quick.
150 messages.
150 messages.
So I love it because we can't even do something as simple as saying, "Hey, bid on a guy," without everybody fighting over it, right? So we wanted to close it off at 2:30 sharp, right? At 2:29, somebody bid something. At 2:30, that person bid $1 higher. So now they're saying that their bid should count, and yada yada yada. I think the last thing that I said was right at 2:30 it cuts off.
Yeah.
So the 2:29 bid is the one that we're gonna go with, which is Snorlax getting his kicker back. But I think $110 is a fair punishment. Did that just happen in real life? Real life, like we just added $110 to the winning pot for the winner this year, right?
That's just the way it goes.
That's insane. $110.
Cheers to that. Snorlax.
That's what type of league you want to be in. Somebody who's that legitimately crazy to bid $110 for a kicker on his bye week. So we fucking love this league. We love the competitive nature of it. We love the entertainment value alone is just
And I hope you do too.
I hope you guys do the same thing with your league. Maybe not this exact thing, but
no, you should do it.
Aubreygate is officially closed.
Yeah.
But
there's gotta be punishments for doing stupid things. Play stupid games. And you win stupid prizes.
There's no mulligans in life, as they say, but if there are, we make you pay for them. So $110 pay for them. So
literally.
Yeah. All
right, guys. Let's go week 7.
Happy football.
Happy footballs.
Chew some ice. That should be